What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Well, in today's video, we are going over Mana as its price does enter into an extremely crucial moment. We are seeing a back test of a key level of support that could lead us to a really big fall to the downside or a possible bounce towards our new all-time high. So with that being said, let's talk about what you need to be doing to identify what move is coming and how we can be playing it. So let's talk about worst case scenario. Let's just get the worst case scenario out the way, okay? Now, worst case scenario is that we're going to come down and we're going to lose the bottom side of this massive ascending wedge in which we're in. Now, realistically, at some point in life, we are going to break to the downside of this. It might not be now, it might not be in December, but at some point we are going to break to the downside of this ascending wedge. That's just how they work. So what we need to know is that if the worst case scenario does arise, it's not the end of the world, okay? But in the short term, what does that entail? In the short term, what does it look like for the price to start to break to the downside? Well, what that's going to be is a 4-hour close below $4.88. That's going to be step number one. Now, the reason that I say that is because we have now successfully established this previous level of resistance as some support as seen right here. But if we are to come back down and lose that level and get the 4-hour close, there's a strong likelihood of us reestablishing this level of resistance that would push us down out of the ascending wedge. So what we need to be watching out for is, do we hold $4.88 as we are doing right now? If we're able to, that's going to be a sign that we're working our way back up. But again, if we lose this level, that's a sign that likelihood is we're breaking to the downside of this ascending wedge. Now, one thing you can also use to gauge this thing is going to be your Bollinger Bands. As you can see when you open up your Bollinger Bands, that are 20 simple moving average, that of course runs in between the two Bollinger Bands as found by two standard deviations, of course, is that if we were to come down and lose our wedge, we would lose this 20 simple moving average, which is a very strong level of resistance. And as you can see, we've come up to this 20 simple moving average multiple times and we were unable to clear it. But now that we were able to clear it, we need to find some support and continue upwards. If we're unable to, that is another level of resistance that pushes the price back down to the downside. Now, the final level of support that would be lost would likely be our 20 and maybe even our 50 EMA on the 4-hour charts. Both of these would entail losses of key levels of support that would also lead to a continued fall to the downside. So overall, if we do start to fall below 488 and then we break to the bottom side of this ascending level of support, do anticipate that unless we recover immediately, as we did back here, there is a strong chance of us getting pushed down. Well, some of you may ask, well, how low can it go? And no jokes, no jokes implied there. But what you can see here is that my assumption is that our minimum level of support would be towards $4.20 to $4.05. Now, the reason I say that is because in the past, historically, when we break out through the doors to our bull market, you can see that we have a tendency to come back down and revisit them. We break through the door of the bull market right here. We go back, we come to revisit it. We break it, and we never came to revisit it. We got close, but we never came to revisit it. And so my guess is that if we do break to the downside, we could look at some fall as low as $4.20 to even $4.05. So that's definitely what you need to keep an eye on in terms of the bottom side. Where can we be going in terms of how low it can go? I don't believe it goes below that level. Now, the best case scenario that plays out here is, of course, that we hold 488 as support. Now, if we're able to hold 488 as support, what that's going to look like is we hold this level, we get a close, just even an hourly close above 488. We see the green candle bounce above this blue line, and we start to work our way towards $5.30 to start to enter into our door to a bull market. So what you need to be paying the closest amount of attention to is what interaction happens at 488. Do we lose it? Do we hold it? If we hold it, you need to see the breakout here. That's going to be it, because if we hold it, boom, the breakout. That means that this level of support was strong enough to get us through a key level of resistance, which likely entails that we continue our path back upwards to possibly put in, Elliott's wave. If we look at something like a 1, 2, 3, we come down 4, we put in 5. And even if at that point we are to see some ABC correction, we've already broken through the door and we're looking good to go set in some all-time highs, okay? So that's the game plan right now. We break this hourly trend line, we come back up and we start to work our way back above 556. If we do this, we're likely likely going up to 650. Mark my words. But again, if the price does come back down and we lose this upward sloping level of support, there is a strong chance of us pushing to the downside, which would also be entailed by the loss of, bullish momentum on, say, the 4-hour MACD. You can see that we are on the edge of a cross, right? So if we start to see the price falling here and that breakthrough happen, we enter into bearish territory on the MACD, for example, and boom, that's a sign that we could very likely see that fall of what, 20, 30, 15, 20, 30%, right? So from here down to this key level, yeah, 15% plus. So overall, that's what we're looking for. That's all I'm doing. I'm not buying. I would not be buying in this moment. That is extremely risky. I'm not a financial advisor. You do what you want, but that's my opinion. I definitely wouldn't be buying. The only buying that I could possibly think would be a decent idea is if we break to the top side of this wedge. But overall, I still think it's an extreme risk because we are still looking and we haven't cleared this yet. So until we clear the bull market doors, I don't believe that we're out of the woods just yet. So overall, that's going to be about it for today's video. Again, be looking for the holding of support here and be looking for the breakthrough here. We're entering into the apex of this wedge very, very soon over the next 4 days. So don't feel like you have to wait too long because it's going to happen faster than you will realize. And then we'll be sitting there trying to figure out what happens next. So of course, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. Now, I want to say something. If you enjoy these videos and you think that they can be helpful and beneficial to other people, please just like the video. That's all I ask. If you like the video, more people will see it. YouTube will push it. YouTube struggles to push my content sometimes and it gets weird. But I definitely think that if you just like the video, we can get the algo in my favor, and that will definitely help out me and the channel and everything that we do here. So of course, again, if you guys did like today's video, do smash that like button, do subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.